And I'm not saying allegedly.
Oh. Okay.
I'm saying, Sean Carter, you're a piece of shit. Taking Pimp C wasn't bad enough. You just want to go down there and you want to just remove all of the balls from every real gangster in Houston.
She looks flawless when the lights hit her, but away from the glitter and flashing cameras, the whispers are deafening. Beyoncé, the queen who built her empire on perfection, is standing on shaky ground. Her smile, her poise, the aura of untouchable power, all of it shatters when you peel back the curtain on what's circling her husband. What's hitting the Carter empire now isn't just some cheap tabloid story. No, it's a hurricane. A storm made of paternity claims, DNA test demands, sealed documents, and lawsuits that suddenly vanish into thin air. And at the very center, Jay-Z himself. We're not talking about one slip-up, not two, but multiple alleged love children stretching back decades, each one with its own tangled story, each one threatening to tear down the carefully painted image of hip-hop royalty. Jay-Z keeps swatting these accusations away in court, calling them harassment. But let's be real, the sheer number of accusers makes it impossible to just brush off as coincidence. Something bigger is happening here.
How do you know I'm not a gangster? Or used to be a gangster? I've been in the music industry for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, the industry's filled with gangsters.
Take Letitia Mayer, for instance, a woman from Maryland who boldly claims she's Jay-Z's daughter. She didn't just whisper it in private. She opened an entire Instagram account called Jay's First Daughter to broadcast it to the whole world. She insists her family told her for years that Sean Carter was her father, and her sister even backed the story, saying she personally introduced her mother to Jay back in the day. Then there's Ry Satwaite, a name Jay-Z's legal team can't escape. He's been banging on courtroom doors since the early 2000s, begging, pleading for a DNA test. Every single time, he's been stonewalled. His filings describe this eerie pattern. Every time he gets close, the ground shifts, the doors slam shut, and his case is pushed aside. And let's be clear, these aren't just whispers on gossip blogs. These are names, dates, sworn affidavits, and what some insiders swear is hard evidence locked away in envelopes marked confidential. The whispers have receipts.
No, this part is not alleged. Jay-Z and his team, they have been ducking and dodging taking the DNA test.
And then comes the strangest twist yet, a lawsuit that just vanished. Gone. No explanation, no settlement announced, no closure. One day the claimant was pushing forward, the next, silence. Did money exchange hands under the table? Was it fear? Was it industry pressure? Anyone who knows how this machine works knows how easy it is to make a case disappear. A single phone call from the right executive, a reminder of careers that could be destroyed, and suddenly the silence is deafening. But silence never lasts forever. Now the noise is back, and it's louder than ever. Jay-Z's empire is being painted not as brilliance and legacy, but as a fortress built on lies. And Beyoncé? She's trapped right in the middle of the explosion. Here's the jaw-dropper. Insiders whisper that Beyoncé has always known about these love children, that she wasn't blindsided, she wasn't tricked, she was complicit, actively choosing to keep the facade alive. Why? To protect her position as the world's most carefully packaged superstar. Let's be blunt. Who gained more from being Mrs. Carter than Beyoncé herself? Every album rollout, every sold-out tour, every magazine cover, boosted, turbocharged by his empire, his connections, his billions. Some critics even argue that calling her a gold digger isn't just a slur. It's the blueprint of her career.
By the way, wasn't this all around the time when Aaliyah died?
Yeah.
And Beyonce's solo career was struggling?
But here comes the twist. If she knew, if she's been covering it up all along, why is she letting the whispers turn into screams now? Why now? That's where the speculation sharpens. Insiders claim Beyoncé is secretly writing a tell-all memoir, a book that could blow apart the shiny Carter family image and recast her as the wounded but resilient heroine. Think about it. What better stage exit could she script than to say she was betrayed, humiliated, forced to endure years of her husband's secret double life? With one move, she keeps her crown. She flips the narrative. She turns scandal into survival. She doesn't lose her legacy. She rebrands it. She secures the sympathy of the world, the loyalty of her fans, and she walks away. Not looking like the villain, but the survivor. And the industry loves a survivor. And the timing, perfect. The Carter name has never been under heavier fire. Court filings, scandal after scandal, paternity claims piling higher. To leave now, Beyoncé wouldn't look like she quit. She'd look like she survived.
I know so much on how you got where you are. How you stepped on many people.
But darker whispers swirl. Maybe Beyoncé has known for years and has been quietly waiting for her moment. Maybe she's been biding her time, holding the secret close until the perfect chance to flip the script. On the surface, she may look like the broken wife, clutching a diary. weeping over betrayal. But to those who know her ambition, this could be the master stroke of her life. Because if Jay-Z falls, if his empire collapses in on itself, Beyoncé has to make sure she doesn't go down with him. She has to look like she never knew, like she never helped cover up, even though whispers say she knew everything. So which Beyoncé is the real one? The broken woman staring into the abyss of betrayal? Or the calculating strategist who has been plotting her escape all along? That's the question circling every dinner table, every backroom industry meeting right now. And just when it feels like nothing more than a messy marriage scandal, the story takes a wild, sinister turn. Because insiders insist this isn't just about love children or infidelity. No, there's a much bigger force at play. Some say Jay-Z is being squeezed, that powerful people want him to flip, to turn, to snitch, and point his finger at another fallen titan already behind bars. Sean Diddy Combs.
You understand? I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make a...
And here's where gossip turns into conspiracy. Diddy, once celebrated for his infamous white parties and his empire of flash, is now sitting in custody. His empire is crumbling, his legacy on the verge of erasure. And the question on everyone's lips? Who else is going down with him? Jay-Z and Diddy, brothers in arms for decades. They toasted their billions together. They covered for each other when nightclub brawls and lawsuits threatened their rise. They protected each other like family. But now, that bond may be Jay-Z's undoing. The theory is chilling. Flood Jay with lawsuits, bury him in scandal, drag his name through the mud until the pressure becomes unbearable. And then, when he's cornered, he has only one way out. Cooperate. Become the crown jewel witness. Hand over what he knows about Diddy. Help bring down the last domino in hip-hop's biggest takedown ever. And if that's true, Beyoncé's timing looks even colder. Why stick around for the implosion if you know your husband is about to become a bargaining chip? Why not walk away now, memoir in hand, before the collapse swallows her whole?
Oh, no, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
The more we look, the stranger it gets. Jay-Z's silence on Diddy's downfall has been deafening. His old friend, his partner in crime, his so-called brother, abandoned. Left to rot while Jay keeps his lips sealed, and the world has noticed. Even 50 Cent couldn't resist. He joked that Jay-Z has gone missing, plastering his face on a milk carton meme. It may sound like a troll, but behind the joke is a very real suspicion. Jay-Z is hiding. But why? Is he hiding because he's guilty, or because he's negotiating? In the vacuum of his silence, speculation multiplies. And while Jay-Z retreats into the shadows, Beyoncé is busy rehearsing her escape. Pen in hand, memoir pages filling, deciding how she'll frame herself to the world. Will she present herself as the betrayed wife, the survivor of an empire built on lies, or both? Because here's the truth about the public. They don't read the fine print. They see the headlines, the tears, the dramatic walkaway. And Beyoncé knows exactly how to script that scene. Industry whispers insist this isn't random chaos. This isn't coincidence. No, it's a carefully coordinated pressure campaign. The goal? To corner Jay-Z, to break him, to force him into a decision he's been dodging for years. The theory goes like this. Powerful forces want him to open up about Diddy. Diddy, once the flashy king of bad boy records, now sits locked away, his empire in shambles. If investigators believe Jay was close enough to see the inner workings of that empire, then his silence is priceless. But how do you make a man like Jay-Z talk? You don't just ask politely. You turn up the heat. You threaten everything he loves. You bury him under scandals, paternity claims, federal filings, allegations dragged out of the past, until he realizes there's only one way out: to talk. So look closely at the timing. Diddy's nightmare explodes, and suddenly Jay-Z is drowning in accusations about love children and hidden families. Coincidence or choreography? Insiders whisper that Jay-Z isn't meant to be destroyed. He's meant to be bent, to be forced into compliance. Too valuable to wipe out completely, but far too dangerous to let walk away unscathed. The message is chillingly simple. Talk or watch your empire crumble. And that's where Jay-Z's history with Diddy comes back to haunt him. Once upon a time, they were inseparable. Toasting champagne, hosting billionaire brunches, laughing in front of cameras. Diddy himself once said, "Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. This is my strategist. This is my brother." But now, that brotherhood is the noose tightening around Jay-Z's neck. Because if investigators believe he was in those rooms, at those parties, watching it all happen, then silence doesn't look like loyalty. It looks like obstruction. And with Diddy staring down the barrel of prison for life, everyone knows what comes next. Diddy will talk. he'll flip to save himself. And if Jay-Z's name comes out of his mouth, the empire collapses overnight. So Jay's choice is brutal. Betray the man who once called him brother, or be dragged down beside him. No wonder he's gone silent. No wonder he's hiding. But hiding doesn't erase the pressure. It only makes the whispers louder. Meanwhile, Beyoncé's public appearances over the past year have become a masterclass in silent messaging. On the surface, she's flawless. Every red carpet, every tour stop dazzling. But underneath, there's a current you can't ignore. Every smile feels deliberate. Every pose feels like a statement. Her costumes, her choreography, they aren't just art anymore. They're declarations. At one show, she stood draped in gold, towering above a stage designed like a throne room. A simple performance, or a bold reminder that she alone wears the crown now. At another, she was cloaked in somber black, surrounded by dancers collapsing at her feet until she stood alone in power. Coincidence? Or coded messages aimed straight at Jay-Z? To the fans decoding every detail, it's clear. Beyoncé is telling her story her way. Even her set lists are fueling speculation. Songs once celebrated as empowerment anthems now sound like barbed warnings. Lyrics that once felt universal now feel personal, like they're aimed straight at Jay-Z. Fans online analyze every word, every pause, every shift in her voice. They're convinced she's putting him on trial night after night in front of millions, without ever stepping into a courtroom. Performance as therapy, performance as weapon, performance as prophecy. Instead of spilling her truth in interviews or Instagram posts, Beyoncé is using the very stage that built her empire as her diary. She's scribbling in sequence and choreography. And by doing so, she maintains deniability while reclaiming her story in real time. For a woman who has always blurred the line between art and autobiography, this isn't just clever, it's devastatingly effective. She's turning marital chaos into ammunition. She's transforming whispers into sympathy. She's converting scandal into loyalty from fans who believe they're decoding her hidden messages. And maybe, just maybe, the memoir isn't even the main event. Maybe it's just the final punctuation mark at the end of a story she's already telling in real time on stage. If that's the case, then this isn't just another Beyoncé tour. This is a live broadcast of a marriage unraveling, disguised as entertainment. And the audience? All of us. Imagine it. Beyoncé, night after night, standing in front of sold-out arenas, secretly narrating her own heartbreak. While Jay-Z sits silent, cornered by lawsuits and whispers, the world watches her transform into the survivor. And when the memoir finally drops, perfect timing. She'll look like the betrayed wife finally breaking her silence, not the accomplice who covered up. A clean break, a clean narrative. But the whispers grow darker when we remember the shadow of Aaliyah. Some conspiracy theorists argue her tragic plane crash wasn't an accident at all, but part of a larger scheme to clear the stage for Beyoncé's rise. The Illuminati theories, the whispers of sacrifice, the eerie timing, they still haunt the darker corners of the internet. And whether true or not, they fuel suspicion that Beyoncé has always had powerful forces shielding her. So if she was protected before, is it really so hard to believe she's being protected again? That this memoir isn't just catharsis, but strategy. Meanwhile, Jay-Z is still fending off lawsuits. Men like Rye Satwade are still demanding DNA tests, still insisting he's their father. I just want him to finally tell the truth to the world, Rye says. And that one word, truth, hangs over everything. Jay-Z's truth, Diddy's truth, Beyoncé's truth. Which version survives? That's the battle, and whichever one sticks will decide who walks away untouchable. Here's the bigger picture. If Jay-Z flips, he could become the witness that helps dismantle Diddy's empire for good. He could save himself, but only by betraying decades of loyalty. If he stays silent, the pressure only mounts. His reputation, his fortune, his family, all at risk. And Beyoncé, she may already be one step ahead, seizing the chaos, rewriting her narrative, freeing herself of the Carter name and its baggage, positioning herself as a solo empire, a survivor whose story the world will devour. So the questions left hanging in the air are bigger than one marriage, bigger than one scandal. Is this the beginning of the end for Jay-Z, the man who once seemed untouchable? Is Beyoncé preparing to abandon him, not out of heartbreak, but out of calculation? And most haunting of all, are we watching the slow, deliberate unraveling of one of the most powerful couples in entertainment history? Tell us, what do you think? Is Beyoncé the betrayed victim, the mastermind behind the escape, or somehow both? And just how deep do you believe this conspiracy goes? Because one thing's for sure, this storm is only getting started. Stay watching, stay questioning, because in Hollywood, and especially in hip-hop royalty, the truth is always stranger than we imagine.